Hello and welcome back to Second Take Movies, a podcast where we give movies a second look, second chance, second take, if you will. I'm your host, Preston Jenkinson, and joining me, as always, is my co-host, Jake Twido.
Hey ha! Cinco de Mayo.
It's Cinco de Mayo today. When this comes out, it won't be.
And just to date this more, like last week, the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial is still going on, baby.
Ooh, she be lying.
Yeah. Preston, if she wins, I think I'm just gonna poop in a bag and eat it.
Yeah, but
I should be careful. But yeah.
Today we are talking about a movie that was funded by the People's Democratic Republic of China. We're talking about Moonfall that came out this year. It wasn't overt. It wasn't so overt propaganda for China.
No, but you know what? When you get to the third act, especially, it screams Chinese.
This was definitely made for a Chinese audience. That was their 100%. Main goal.
Which, hey, good for them. Yeah. I don't think they made their money back, but
I don't think this made money in China. But I will. You know what? We'll worry about that later because right now we're going to do the story. A mysterious force knocks the moon from its orbit around Earth and sends it hurtling on a collision course with life as we know it. So basically, the moon don't spin right and is coming for us. The moon's trying to kill us.
Which this sucker got started like 2018, 2019.
Yeah.
The production or whatever. So what ends up happening though for us is we have the Netflix Asteroid's Gonna Kill Us movie with DiCaprio and Lawrence, whatever it's called. I can't remember.
Don't Look Up.
There we go. And then you have this in the same year. So it's kind of like,
watch Don't Look Up instead of this.
Yeah. Essentially.
Our positive and negative review. The positive, Justin Chang of the LA Times says Moonfall is stupid, in other words, but I don't mind admitting that it feels at this point in time like my kind of stupidity.
All right. Fair. Polite. Yeah.
Peter Bradshaw of The Guardian with the negative review says, here the formulaic silliness, sometimes part of the enjoyment, is just tiring.
Yeah. I laughed at a lot of stuff for this, but by the time this movie ended, and not to jump ahead, especially the very final scene.
Oh, yeah.
I was exhausted. I said, this is ridiculous. I made a joke, and it happened.
This movie starts with, it's got Patrick Wilson?
Wilson, yeah. Which, Preston, good actor or not?
I think so.
I think he's phenomenal. I think he's been in a lot of terrible movies. But
I think everyone was collecting a paycheck in this movie.
Yeah, 100%. They knew what was going on.
They were like, "Ooh, I can buy that. I can add on to my mansion this year." Or
I can pay my taxes now.
Yeah,
that I have neglected to pay.
Last
I can't believe Wesley Snipes wasn't in this joint. I mean, it was a tax write-off.
Which I don't.
But
think...
Donald Sutherland shows up for like 2 minutes, and he's top billed.
Hey, Donald Sutherland, you want to be in this movie for like 20 seconds, and we'll give you like $3 million.
Do you know the story of why he's in this movie?
No.
His son helped fund this movie. And they said, do you think your dad would be in this? And of course, his son said, well, my dad could make money off this. Yeah, sure.
Kiefer Sutherland or the other one?
Roge.
Oh, okay.
I can't pronounce it.
I saw that there was somebody related to somebody in the credits. I can't remember, but...
Yeah.
It starts with these astronauts in space, and they're working on a satellite, and two of them are Patrick Wilson and Halle Berry. But she's inside the spaceship. And then there's like a rookie working with Patrick Wilson.
Yeah, I mean, dead ringer right away. That dude's going to die.
Yeah. Like
it started, I'm like, oh, well, that guy's going to die. All right, great.
You're in the setup of a disaster movie, and there's two famous people, and you, in the opening scene, you dead.
Which, at this point, Preston, I saw so little about this movie. I knew it came out. I think when you said Moonfall, I was like, in my brain, I said the James Bond movie, thinking Skyfall.
Yeah, that came out like 4 years ago.
Yeah, realized it was this, and I went, "Oh, I remember the preview for that." Didn't know it was a disaster movie. So
Oh yeah, it's
at that
Roland
moment,
Emmerich,
yeah,
who can make a good movie. Independence Day is a great movie.
yeah. Day After Tomorrow, The Patriot. He did The Patriot.
Fun fact: in high school, we watched The Day After Tomorrow in science class.
I think you and I were probably the last generation or so that watched movies for like learning purposes that did not do anything.
Yeah.
I watched Remember the Titans 17 times in 1 year.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Pickens High School.
Just
But sorry.
Shout out.
Yeah, I don't give a dang. Got a PhD. I graduated from Pickens High School. Got that Pickens High School diploma.
Got that
But yeah, they go to repair a satellite, right?
Yeah.
Like that's their mission. Okay. So I thought I'd text you and just full blunt honesty. I fell asleep 20 minutes in when I started this the first night. So a lot of this is a fever dream.
Yeah.
I thought they went to the moon, did all this stuff. No, and then I realized watching it the next day, they just went to repair a satellite. That was it. Just no.
Yeah, and when they get back to Earth, because Halle Berry, well, there's this techno-organic thing that attacks them. Like it's like a swarm almost, and it rushes this thing, kills this guy, knocks out Halle Berry, but Patrick Wilson is still alive, and then you see it just burrow down into the sun. Or not the sun, the moon. And for some reason, when they get back to Earth, NASA fires Patrick Wilson. And
yeah, they think he murdered them.
Yeah.
Right?
Or that he was at least responsible for their death.
God, yeah, that was bonkers. Again, fever dreaming here. It was just like, that's where you went with this right away.
Okay. My thing, like, there's a news coverage of his like hearing or whatever. I don't think something like that would be broadcast. Like, who cares if like a NASA astronaut is getting fired?
No, I'm sure at some point in time, way before us, you knew every astronaut's name. And this day and age, there's so many people that work for NASA and SpaceX.
Yeah, which gets a couple of shout outs in this movie.
Really creepy. Or
so
not
all
creepy,
you
just,
Elon heads are like, yeah,
he's getting Twitter and he's getting the moon.
Which also, side note, I'm going to derail this for the first time.
Oh my God! Hey, play the derail music, Preston.
We should come up with something for that. But Elon just pays for this stuff. Like, he's not like people always like, oh, Elon did this, Elon does it. He just pays for it and he gets people to make it. That's it.
Yeah, I think like on paper, he's a smart guy. Definitely. Yeah. On paper, he says that like, I know how to hire smart people.
Exactly.
They tell me how to understand this stuff, then I do it.
Yeah, that's it. But all these people just claim, oh no, it all comes from the mind of Elon. Like, no.
Yeah, I'd like to see him use a screwdriver, personally. Mm-hmm. That's where I'm at. Like, yeah,
he sold PayPal. That's where he got his money. He made PayPal and sold it.
He's from South Africa.
Yeah.
So I don't know his whole backing, but South Africa's a crazy place. So, whatever. Maybe he knows more than I think. And I like him, but the Elon cronies, yeah.
I just don't worship him like all these other people do. Like,
no, he's just a guy.
Yeah.
A lucky guy. But I just loved I don't know if this movie tried to like get more success by calling out Elon Musk, and I tried to ride a wave.
I'm sure SpaceX paid for something. But after this point, apparently there was a time jump I was not aware of.
That's what threw me off, man. Like I said, I started watching this again and went, wait a minute. How much time has passed? What just happened?
I mean, it does show like his family packing stuff up and like leaving this house, and you're just supposed to assume that they're getting a divorce, and then it just cuts to he gets up in a drunken stupor, I guess, and he can't pay rent.
It was so much so that later in the movie, when his family resurfaces, I didn't know who they were.
I did not care about that family one bit.
dude,
This movie
that
could
was
have been
the
an hour and a
crux.
half. You cut out everything with their families and just focus on them in outer space with the moon.
Make this cracker a like Playboy. Forget it. Make him Tony Stark. Don't make him have a family. It was stupid.
Yeah.
They did nothing for this movie. That honestly, the movie was what it was. That's probably my biggest criticism is anything that happened on Earth. Who cares?
Right. I will give them credit for not doing like the typical, our main guy is redeeming himself and there's also a lady that he knows. They obviously need to get together. They did not do that with Patrick Wilson and Halle Berry. So I will give it points for that.
Yep. And I was terrified. Well, again,
I thought when they got out that shuttle at the end, they were about to kiss.
Yeah, I was like, they're gonna bang.
Because he's like, we make a great team, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, I did not know where that was going, and I'm happy that we didn't see.
Yeah,
so.
but
you get the crazy. What's the guy actor? It's Casey, whatever.
I don't know.
Theorist, the conspiracy guy.
Yeah,
guy from Game of Thrones, John Bradley, the comic relief of the movie.
Yeah, the doctor, not a doctor.
Yeah. After that tenure, you are introduced to him. And immediately I was just like, all right, I saw Game of Thrones. I watched all this. Is this guy a good actor or not? And I still don't know.
Yeah. I mean, after that, you've got all the characters of a disaster movie set up. You've got your rogue guy that doesn't work for the unnamed program anymore. You got your crazy kooky guy that no one believes but is an expert. And you've got the person who's friends with the first guy that is still working at said agency that's in charge of trying to save the world. That's your basic plot.
Yeah. Yep. And that's exactly the moment I said, oh, this is a disaster movie.
Yep.
Got it. Okay.
Roland Emmerich just like has a template that he follows, and he's like, oh, there's my character. There's that character. Here's that character. Let's move. Oh, and sometimes they have to have a family.
Yeah, occasionally.
That the audience doesn't care about.
No, they're always unlikable.
Yeah.
But that's when you get introduced to the incredibly insane. The moon is a
mega structure.
A mega structure.
These people are like flat earthers in this universe.
That is 100% what I wrote down in my notes. It's like, this is flat earthers. This is flat earthers all the way. Like, no.
Yeah, like it's like the moon is like, because this crazy doctor is like, we cut to him at a fast food job, and he figures out that the moon, it's off its rotation kilter axis. I don't know, before NASA does, because he can hack. I guess he hacks into something and looks at stuff. I don't know what he does.
Yeah, and that's. I don't know if that was Elon Musk like pumping up still, because SpaceX is so far ahead of NASA now. Apparently, I don't know crap about this, but I was like, that's another callback of NASA's kind of obsolete. Just
yeah.
But how does he? And I'm drawing a blank of how does he meet Patrick Wilson or Brian Harper? How does that whole connection happen? Because in my head, he just magically is like, I'm gonna call this Harper guy. That's not the right accent.
He get his cat Fuzz Aldrin pees on a piece of newspaper that's got his picture in it that he's supposed to be speaking at, like the observatorium in LA, I think. Observatory, that's what it is, the observatory.
Okay.
And he goes down there to try to convince him to talk to NASA and start speaking to a group of children. Like these people, like these adults just let this random dude come in. They know who they're supposed to talk to because he's a famous astronaut, which doesn't exist anymore. But
yeah, this is. I don't have. I told you. I was like, I hate this. I don't hate this movie. The first act, awful.
Yes.
Second act, okay. This might be something. The third act, okay. The ending, no. Yeah. So like at this point, I'm so tuned out. I don't give a crap. somehow NASA figures out that something's happening. They send people up, and that's when we see the swarm.
Well, yeah, they figure out
right?
that the moon is off its rotation, and so
Yeah.
they don't know that the techno-organic thing is there yet because it got covered up, but we don't know that yet. And
I was so done already. I was just like, Preston, I hate you. I
think
hate you so much. This is so bad.
They fly up to the moon and they get an image of like this hole that was bored into some crater in the moon that they have a name for that I can't remember. And they try to send a probe down there to see what's in it.
Yeah.
And that's when the swarm thing comes flying through the hole and kills all those astronauts because it likes living organisms inside of electronic things.
How much did you want that thing to be the very first Star Wars movie, to be that monster popping out of the hole? I don't remember what the thing's called because I should probably know it, but
I think it was in Empire Strikes Back when you talking about when
okay.
the Millennium Falcon was like landed in this crater and it was like
yep.
It's kind of like looked like a sandworm from Dune.
But, yeah. I was so bummed out when I saw the swarm, and it was like, okay.
Well, we all knew it was the swarm because it burrowed into the moon earlier, but and then NASA starts to get all hush hush about this thing. It's like, oh no, we can't tell people. But then the weird scientist dude leaked everything online.
Yeah, and I got a good chuckle out of like, yeah, that's pretty much how life is now.
Yeah.
Some random dude's going to leak something and people are going to be like, oh, that's the truth. All right, got it. Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of being like, is it?
No. I will say, I think this is when I check back in the movie a little bit after that, when the moon gets closer and all the anomalies start happening.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, this is interesting. Like, these are not terrible effects now. This is good concepts, which they get destroyed later by the gravity waves and like whatever,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But oh no, Patrick Wilson, there's trouble at home because for some reason him and his wife are estranged. Apparently you lose your job, you lose your wife, you lose everything. Who knew?
Had your kids, had your wife. Man.
Yeah. Because his son gets arrested for speeding down the highway or running from the police in a car.
Is that all he got arrested for? Because I could not remember when he came back in. Like, what did this kid do? Did he steal a car? Did he do anything?
From what I gathered from that courtroom scene, which was useless, his friend he'd been hanging out with the wrong crowd or whatever, and he had just turned 18 and he hadn't been home in a long time. I don't know.
Blah.
Yeah, and they just run from the cops. The drugs was his friends, I guess. Who knows? But the stepdad is played by Michael Pena.
Do you know who that was supposed to be?
Who?
That was supposed to be Stanley Tucci.
Okay, I could see that.
Stanley Tucci couldn't do it because of COVID protocols. He couldn't go to Canada.
Really?
So that's how that happened. That whole switch happened because he couldn't go to Canada, and Michael Pena could. So Stanley Tucci dropped out. This would have been a different movie.
Yeah. First of all, why would you talk to your ex-wife's husband on FaceTime like that?
I think they're secret boyfriends.
Like, I mean, I prefer FaceTime, like a video call to a phone call, but I'm not talking to somebody I hate on a video.
You gotta be next level angered for that. Like, no.
But anyway, the kid's stuck in jail. Who cares?
Yeah, let him stay there and rot. No.
Yeah. Obviously you ain't been there, Patrick. Why are you there now? Like, why does it matter? Like,
that's the best part. It's like, clearly this guy's like just a raging alcoholic and does not care. So I love that later. Yeah, I don't know. It does not pay off later.
No, not at all. Not at all. So it's hard to remember what happens after that.
You figure out Apollo 11 was a lie. That's
yes.
Next thing I remember.
Yes.
Is the girl that legitimately, Preston, I'm not kidding. I was so confused. I thought Halle Berry was Patrick Wilson's ex-wife. So the whole time for the first bit, I was like, "Oh man!"
It took me a while to figure out.
It
took me a while to figure out. Well, are they married or no? Okay, he's got a different
bad writing.
Yeah, because that opening scene, it was like apparently like a week after her wedding or whatever, and she was like, "Oh, I sang it for karaoke at my wedding," and he was like, "Oh, I was too busy cutting it up on the dance floor." And I think there was a version of this script where the two of them were married.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you: is do you think there's a version? Because I feel like they filmed that version, and edits were better for that, and they left some of that. I don't know. This whole movie seems like an editing debacle.
Yeah,
but you find out that the Apollo 11 is a lie.
Yeah,
and when the video feed cut, they didn't. We cut it so that we could hide what was really there.
2 minutes.
And she finds that from Donald Sutherland. Preston, who is Donald Sutherland in this movie? Is he just some creepy guy hanging out in a warehouse?
The keeper of the secrets who apparently can't leave that basement.
Man, I was so confused. I was like, oh, it's cool. He's in this movie. I didn't know. Never heard or saw him again.
But deep within that basement of secrets is the helmet cam of Patrick Wilson from that day, I guess 10 years ago. Who knows?
Yeah. Which I didn't know his name was Brian Hopper at this point. Harper.
I don't know any.
So they played the video. I'm like, oh, someone saw the alien. That's crazy. Didn't realize it was him.
Yeah, I didn't know anybody's character's name. So
no, and it is bonkers.
And so NASA, the moon just starts getting closer, and the world is slowly just the first thing that happens is like there's this big. Is it a wave that comes into NASA down in Florida?
Yeah. You have the big tsunami that hits and bogs everything down.
Yeah. So,
which is comical because Patrick Wilson all of a sudden's with. Oh
yeah, he believes everything that the crazy British dude says.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, these guys are just over here like ripping meth in this apartment building that's all getting flooded, and then they get picked up, and it's like. Clearly, these guys are hitting some PCP or something.
That's right. Yeah, because he tracks down the crazy doctor to like a hotel that he's speaking at, or a little crappy motel that he's speaking
at. I hated so much of this. I'm still into like this is ridiculous.
With the other mega structurists, I guess is what they're called.
And like you just said at the start, it's flat earthers 100%.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if you've been to one of those conferences, Preston, but they do speak very, very logically. And, when I look on the horizon, I just see straight. So
I've seen a documentary.
By the way, I got you a podcast sponsor. You want me to go to them real quick?
Sure.
Can't even jokingly do it. This episode is brought to you by China and the Flat Earthers of America. China and the Flat Earthers of America together at once, letting everyone know that all things are great and all things are flat. Man, they're paying us a lot for that.
Pay no attention to the torture or prison camps.
What are you talking about? Yeah.
Speaking of that,
they get the pickup. Hit it.
We get our first subtle hint of Chinese propaganda. We're talking about building a spaceship to go attack the moon.
The China will give you their best.
Oh, China's even offered, a little spaceship or whatever.
Where was it? Was that the rover?
I guess
module.
I think so. It was that thing they fly around in, that really advanced thing that they fly around in, that rover.
Okay, I missed that, but the whole time I was like, I'm glad we mentioned that. And then like we're flying this thing from a museum. Like, what the crap? All right,
China, we knew y'all are working on space. Y'all ain't got a shuttle we can launch up there. All y'all give us is a rover. But at the end of it, it's the rover that saves their life or whatever, that little landing ship that they come back to Earth in or whatever.
Which I'm going to tell you, I know a couple people that have worked at NASA, and jokingly I sent a text and said, I know this is later in the movie, is there any hope in God that a rover module, whatever like that, would survive our atmosphere? The answer I got back was, if the moon was that close and they were only in our atmosphere for that percent of time, there's a, I don't even remember the percent chance. They gave me a math of, yeah, it might could happen. And that hurt my butt, hurt my guts. Like, you guys are supposed to tell me this was the dumbest thing in the world. Instead, you said, yeah, it's plausible. I don't know. Perfect.
Huh.
Thanks. But yeah, back to China. They definitely paid this movie off.
Oh, yeah. So,
yeah, and right after that, you get the foreign exchange student.
Yeah.
That's gonna,
which is another little whoop. Oh, she's teaching the kid Mandarin. Isn't that great?
100%. Yeah. This podcast is brought to you by
Learn a second language, you know?
Yeah.
Babble. Learn Mandarin. You're going to need Mandarin it in the future.
So hard. Mandarin and Japanese is so hard to learn.
Yeah.
I've tried and it is difficult.
Yeah.
This is the insane part of this. The only spaceship at this point in time, we don't have spaceships anymore. Is that true today, really, for NASA?
I'm pretty sure we don't.
Okay. I thought that was right, but that was an eye-opener for me of, oh, we don't have spaceships. It's just SpaceX.
Only people going to space are Bezos and Elon.
Oh, don't forget about Richard Branson, baby. Richard Branson. Whatever that Virgin's name is.
Yeah, him too. Virgin
Company guy. Sorry.
Yeah. Does that make you chuckle every time you say that?
I didn't mean to say that, Virgin.
I don't care about these kids because they send them off in this Humvee, and it's like his kid. Because he gets NASA to get his kid out of jail. Okay.
If you're gonna have child actors in a movie, Preston, they better be likable.
Yeah,
and like
it better be the Stranger Things kids. All right.
And I think that's where we're at now because of Stranger Things, especially.
It's like we hold child actors to a better standard.
Yeah, like as a little kid, like I watched The Goonies. I'm like, oh, these are kids. This is the best. Watch Indiana Jones, the
short round.
Nice gentleman that helps him. Perfect. He's hilarious.
Fun fact.
This is awful.
Short Round is in that he came back to acting for that Everything Everywhere All at Once with Michelle Yeoh.
Didn't realize that.
Yep, he's the guy in that.
I need
movie.
to see that movie too.
I really want to see that movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like a better movie than this.
A lot of
yeah.
Yeah, hey. I'm paused just now. I'm going to pause here. You can cut this. Well, you know what? Swordfish is a better movie because at least you saw Halle Berry's tits.
I'll leave it in. That's fine.
I mean, and you know what? I didn't hate her. She didn't do terrible in this movie.
No, Halle Berry's not.
Halle Berry's a good actress.
She's a good actress.
Yeah.
Other than Catwoman, she's a good actress.
Yeah, 100%. And that's sadly what I remember. Yeah. I don't remember her tits from Swordfish. I remember her bad acting in that, which says a lot.
Yeah.
By the way. I'm so happy that my wife just got home and she probably walked into me saying that.
Halle Berry's tits.
Yeah. All right, I'm in the clear. Only thing that works the dogs. But yeah, you get the.
But there's so many unnecessary characters, like Halle Berry's ex-husband, his I guess the two daughters are the stepdad's kids, and they're up in the mountains. I don't like cut back to Earth every once in a while and show the chunks and stuff exploding in the planet. We don't need people on the ground. We don't care.
I would have much rather seen like random people getting destroyed, demolished.
Yeah.
I mean, it was cool. Like all the effects weren't great, but a lot of the effects were creative.
Yeah.
Like the gravity wave stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, all right. That's different. I can roll with this. But then you contradict it by the idiot kid just standing outside of the Humvee watching his dad take off.
With the shuttle's taking off, there's a gravity wave coming. The kid that's in charge of taking these two people to a military base stops the Humvee on the cliff to watch to see if the thing gets off, and there's literally waves coming for them. And once it gets off the ground, it's like, oh no, get back in the car.
I'm going to make this one because I'm going to be in the end.
Yeah.
Did not. I gave up at that point. He does have one redeeming moment later, but yeah, that was, I don't know if we knew. There's a lot of like, you're going to do me a favor. We're not going to tell you what the favor is, but then you find out that Halle Berry's ex-husband has got the nuclear strike possibly coming down, which, you find out later. But
yeah, because
this whole movie at this point is just like, there is so much going on and so much going on badly.
Yes.
Not like bad situations, like bad filmmaking.
Yeah.
It picks up when they go into space, and it's just the three of them, just the three main people in that, I almost said airplane.
Shuttle.
In the shuttle. They're taking a B-52 to space. Still watching King of the Hill. Yeah. I did think it was pretty rad. The like little SpaceX jab are going to refuel at the SpaceX hub.
Uh-huh.
That was cool. I was back on board.
Oh, was that a SpaceX?
Yeah, there's SpaceX refueling.
They have a refueling thing out that goes around our solar system.
I don't know if that's real or not. I think that might be like something they
did for the movie.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it might be something planned.
But, so, shocking. We're in a movie called Moonfall. We go to space.
I just want to see the moon fall. I didn't give a crap about space. Drop it. Just drop the thing.
We're in space, and they have to get close to this thing without any electronics. That's why they got this thing out of a museum.
And that's why they got Patrick Wilson to fly, because he's the only guy that's ever flown.
Yeah, he landed a shuttle back in the day that ran out of power.
Which I call bullcrap.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe older. I don't know. I don't know enough about. I should know. I love NASA history, and I just don't know enough of it. But you see later in the movie, he can't fly without power at certain points.
Yeah.
So,
So they slowly inch towards this thing, and they have a bomb. They have a bomb on the rover, which is attached to them, and they're going to detach it and let it float into this thing and explode it. But they have the little switch ready to go. And then out of everything floating around, that thing locks onto them because it's an electronic little switch that they're going to explode. And
they got the dumb cell phone too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy brought the dumb scientist, or the fake scientist brought a phone to space. And he knows how to do all this math on the fly for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Seems like Halle Berry was good at it.
Yeah. I was like, you got her. And I was set up at this point, when they did this is how you arm the EMP with this remote.
Mm-hmm.
This. And I said, well, clearly that remote's going to fail.
Yeah.
Not entirely. No, that's not what the twist was. So.
But it starts slowly coming to him. They bash the little thing, and then Patrick Wilson tells the British guy to break his phone, and it stops. It's like, oh, nope, there's nothing in there. I don't need to continue swallowing this. Yep.
I don't have eyes. I just have electronic sensors.
And so
I'm from Georgia.
We eventually make it into the inside of the moon.
Into the butthole of the moon.
And there's a huge star right in the middle, because this thing is a structure with rock built on the outside.
Oh my gosh.
And
this is when this got crazy. Not good, just crazy. And it's like, all right, what's happening?
Because this thing was built, we find out, from an operating system.
Oh my! And let me tell you something. Talk about the dumbest twist. The like how he learns it. We're like, Preston, I have a friend that definitely does a lot of drugs, and he keeps a list of, would this movie be better on acid? Kicks and giggles. I hadn't talked to him in a while, and I shot him a note. Said, "You watch Moonfall?" And he said, "Oh yeah, bro. Moonfall better on acid, except for the ending, because clearly, if an alien wants to relay information to you, you have to get probed. He did not get probed. He was put into a machine, and a machine could not give you information. He saw a vision. He was not given information. He was not probed. And I said, my word, you are a genius.
You've thought way too much about this.
To which I said, hey, how are you doing? What's been going on in your life? And he said, well, I've got a court appearance in the next week or two. A possession thing. And I went, oh, no crap. Awesome. And he's
Shocker.
like, yeah, do you want to come? And I said,
nah.
Yeah, I'll pencil it in. But yeah, this movie failed the person because they didn't probe Patrick Wilson to give him the alien information.
Right.
Ugh.
So
weird that
we get the explanation that our ancestors were super advanced. Okay. And they created AI. Okay. That controlled their lives. Sounds like a good premise.
And then it gets sentient.
Second season of Raised by Wolves.
Hey, whoa, spoiler alert. Actually, I've seen that. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
I've seen that piece.
And
whoa, Raised by Wolves. Let me tell you something. I should have just watched that instead of this.
Oh my gosh, it's so much better than this. But this idea that they because they give you a video presentation, I'll call it, for the audience
from the original Halo video game,
which to me sounds like a much better sci-fi movie than this.
Yeah, and I was bummed. I was like, whoa.
Because that would be a good twist at the end that, there's this ancient race that created us today.
That'd have been sweet.
That would be like an awesome reveal at the end that they just sent this moon out into a solar system that was able to create life, and it spun around and created the Earth.
But no, they do the dumbest thing possible. They speed through all this dumb exposition.
Yes.
They give Brian Harper, I'm going to call him Patrick Wilson because I'd never even heard his name in the movie. I thought his name was Ryan. They give him the gift of vision, and he's a genius. And he's going to do everything.
Oh,
now.
yeah, because
it's like, man, this is the lamest.
He got all that information downloaded. Now he knows how to save the human race. And the operating system fixes their ship magically because why not? There's a star in the middle of the moon that is also a metal structure that was built as an ark to save an ancient civilization that is apparently more advanced than we are.
So dumb. They fix that little goofy thing. All around that are these giant ships.
Yes.
Giant, battleship looking ships.
Take one of those.
Why didn't they give him the village to drive on the vision to drive one of those?
And I thought that's what they were setting up because they had a shot of those things that was in the hangar when Halle Berry and the other guy got out of the ship. And
it's funny you bring this up. Moment from our sponsor. China, the manufacturer of the greatest Land Rovers in the world, not aliens. You want reliability? Don't fly alien. Fly China.
The Great Wall. Come and see it.
With Matt Damon?
This movie and that movie are on the same level, so sure.
Yeah, very similar.
A Chinese company. Which, if you see anything with Tencent in it, this is for the audience. You see anything with Tencent in it, China. You'd be surprised how much money they have in a lot of stuff that we use.
Oh, yeah.
Epic Games.
Again, I should be quiet because I flat out work for a Chinese company, which I don't care. I really don't care. I'm not, I actually, to be very clear, I say this with jokingness, but man, the people I talk to in China, some of the nicest, most interesting people in the world.
I'm sure the people that live there are their government's just the most evil, oppressive thing on the planet.
Stop it. You're coming.
Their leader banned Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, he loves to wear T-shirts without pants, Preston. He thought they were making fun of him.
Because people compared him to Winnie the Pooh, he bans it in the entire country.
Oh, man. Oh, no. That was you know what? They should make a movie about that. That'd be better than this.
Fragile ego on that guy. Anyway.
You get the chase scene of the world. Get on the ship. They start flying. Preston, at this point, I'm so confused because all of a sudden the ships start firing on the monster swarm thing. Why did this thing not kill this thing before? they start flying around, the AI turn all the gunships. They start firing turrets at it.
They do?
Yes, it looks like it's like part of the structure, but it's the AI operating system.
Okay.
Activates all the ships to use the guns.
Also,
so you could have.
What's the difference between this AI which is what the swarm thing is, and this operating system?
Oh, man.
Why is this one good and this one evil? I don't want to get
so nerdy. So, oh my God. Yeah, I watched this and couldn't sleep later in the night and really got on this weird kick. An operating system does not have its own thoughts. It's been programmed to perform a specific task, and the AI is capable of learning.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, I'll give it that.
I can give you the actual stuff, but in the short.
The operating system did what it was programmed to do.
Yeah, it's got a job. It does its job.
It gave you an exposition dump.
Yeah.
This AI was something they created to run their lives, and then it started learning more about their lives. Almost a metaphor for how we live today.
Oh, yeah. You said that, and Google just talked downstairs, by the way.
Yeah.
So just,
Oh, my phone's staring me in the face right now. So
I'm going to get so many ads for China after this.
Yeah. So we're out the tunnel. The bomb gets an upgrade. It's a video game now.
Time out. No, sir. We're going to the most depressing part of this movie. All this is going on, and you get the dumb kids, the dumb family on Earth going to the bunker. And the dumb rednecks, which, one credit, the actor sucks. But to the kid and the Humvee, drops that gun, kicks it under the Humvee. That moment happened, and I went, that's the most intelligent thing I've ever seen. Because every trope is they search you and they take your gun.
Yep.
And I went, someone thought.
Because he knows he's losing the Hummer.
Yeah.
So they're just going to keep driving.
But you go through such bullcrap of,
yeah,
we're losing oxygen. We're going to go to this fire department because Stanley Tucci stand-in had a brilliant idea.
Michael Pena.
Which I love him, by the way.
He is good. He's great.
And in this movie, I loved him too. I said, God, this is great. But that's the most... all that entire chase scene of them trying to follow with the oxygen, it's so stupid. It is so dumb. And then his death after that.
Mm-hmm.
And what I remember from the trailer, every piece of the trailer was from that chase scene of the car fast furiousing off the cliff.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be on the moon for some reason. I don't know why. Nope. No. And then them like later, it goes downhill there.
Yeah.
And then Michael Pena dies.
Yeah, and then
I was like, why didn't you let him come back?
Right.
Like, you got air right after that. That'd have been amazing. No.
So
in China, you can only have one dad, not two. So, sorry.
On our way out of the moon, because the bomb got an upgrade as well. It glows. Okay. Don't know what that's going to do.
Yeah. I don't know what that does. It's like a shiny Pokemon card, whatever.
So the British fake doctor decides to sacrifice himself, and he goes and floats in with the bomb because somebody has to be right next to it to push the button now.
Don't want to close my eyes. Don't want to fall asleep.
Because I miss you, baby.
Yeah, and I don't want to miss. Here's my problem, Preston. Right. Do you know anything about EMPs?
I know that they knock out electrical signals.
It's not going to kill a human.
Nope.
Unless that dude has a pacemaker or an insulin pump. He'd probably survive it.
See, that's where I didn't know that bomb was an EMP. I just thought it was a bomb.
Well, they made the stupid, oh my gosh, if I pull this out my butt, I'll fact check it later. ZX7 project.
Okay.
She asked her husband about. And it's an EMP bomb, which we don't... That's foreign technology. Like, we do stuff with that. It's known, but it's an electronic, like, dispersion thing. So maybe, like, if he's in that rover, it kills the oxygen. That's where I could see I would kill him, but dude, he's not going to blow himself up with that. Maybe with the shiny part, but
I think
stupid.
It's intended. The intention was like with the extra juice from the ancient ancestors. It turned into another bomb that just absorbed him into the operating system because that's what happens.
Well, and I know this is a audio podcast and this is a visual thing I'm about to do, but let's just talk about the tunnel. Okay, they're here, swarm things over here. They're going to drop a bomb off. Wouldn't it follow them over it and they could just blow it up after it passes? I mean, I'm not an astronaut, or a rocket scientist.
I know movie logic, and the two most famous people are in the shuttle that's escaping.
Yeah. Let me tell you something too. John Bradley did bull crap for Game of Thrones. So, wait, does he live in? I mean, spoiler alert if you haven't finished it. Did you watch Game of Thrones?
I've never watched Game of Thrones.
Okay. Hey, you know what? Good.
When the first episode ended with a brother and a sister fucking, I was like, you know what? I'm done.
Dude, that's when I turned in. I said, I am on to this. Show me some more.
Show me some more incest.
Little kid out the tower. They killed that little kid, and I said, yeah, this is all about killing the kids, man. Actually, I said, God, I mean, we did, you did Lord of the Rings, and you should definitely know the guy's name. Michael Bean. No, Bean.
Sean Bean.
Sean Bean. Yeah, saw him and said, he's dying. Watched the first episode, knew nothing about it, and said, yeah, Sean Bean.
He dies in everything.
He dies in everything. Sorry, I'm not spoiling anything because he dies in everything.
Yep.
But so they blow that sucker up and they get farted out at the perfect time to go to Colorado.
Yeah.
You ever heard of a mop?
They just happened to land in Colorado where the family was hiking on a mountain.
Oh, no, Preston, no, they didn't. They didn't. Do you know there's a term in filming called the mop-up sequence? It's in the last act. You do a mop-up. You clean up every piece. And it's always cheap. You don't want to do mop-ups. So, and I did some research or looked it up, which I don't know why I did because it's not worth it for this movie. The original scene, it farted them out and they landed in front of their family. And someone said that's too much of a mop-up. Let's land them somewhere else and have a helicopter pick them up.
Yeah, and then take them to the family.
They reused the exact same CGI backgrounds, so it looks like the helicopter picked them up and dropped them off 2 feet over. I don't know. At the end of this movie, I just have to assume they ran out of money. So
I think they did.
And I know COVID hurt this a lot.
They were just like, we got to get this out the door. Let's.
I, to be positive, I really think if COVID wasn't around, I think this would have been a different movie.
Yes.
I think without delays and everything else.
I feel there's a good, well, not necessarily a good, but an entertaining movie in here.
Yeah, you got some possibilities. There's some interesting stuff.
And there's also a second movie about ancient people that are super advanced that would make a great sci-fi movie. Yeah. But my favorite, the part I laughed the most about, after the stepdad has died and they all meet each other at the end, he just looks at his ex-wife and he's like, well, where's what's his face? And she's just like, he's like, oh, I'm sorry.
Who are you talking about? He didn't make it.
He's like, oh, I'm sorry.
He was nothing more than a paycheck for me. I'm on to the next one. Speaking of which, your child support is active again there, Patrick. Oh, God. Man, that, again, when they got into space, it was interesting then. The ending of it, it's just like they just, I have to assume it was a rush.
Yeah.
I just have to. But my favorite part, it started to fade to black when life is getting better. Everyone's all happy. And I said, actually, Logan said it at first. She said, that kid's going to be an alien now. And I said, he's just going to get absorbed into the conscience and be a construct. And then it fades up. And that Pillsbury Doughboy is there with his cat and his mom. And they say, we have work to do.
Yeah.
And I immediately said, you don't got work to do because there is not going to be a sequel.
Definitely not going to be a sequel.
I looked it up. This thing lost a lot of money.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it came out so soon.
Well,
I saw Jackass Forever in theaters. This came out same time.
Yeah. They did the same thing. Roland Emmerich did the same thing. We talked about this before we started recording with the last Independence Day movie. At the end of that, they were like, oh, this white iPhone looking thing is from an alien race that got wiped out by these other aliens, and they're going to share their technology with us so we can go fight the colonizing aliens. He's like, we're going to go get those sons of bitches. And then it cuts. And I'm like, well, that sounds like a better movie than this.
You know, it's pretty bonkers. I'm looking at his Wikipedia because I'm a scrub and I want the faults problem. I didn't realize he did Universal Soldier.
Yeah.
But he didn't write it or produce it. And Jean-Claude Van Damme's got the best buns in the game, baby. But Stargate, Independence Day, Godzilla, The Patriot, did not write it.
No, he directed it.
I just feel like he got to The Day After Tomorrow, and every one of his movies is that. I didn't know he did the bullcrap of 10,000 BC, 2012.
Yeah.
Like,
he went on a run of those for a little while. But like I said, I think he is capable of making a good movie. Like, I think he's a pretty good director.
Yeah, I especially if he didn't write it. I think he could direct great, but
has his name attached to these disaster movies, and that's what he just keeps making.
Which is bonkers. I mean, I guess you get a style and you keep doing it. Why not?
But he tried to pull what all these other old directors are doing now and blaming Marvel movies on everything. And he blamed Marvel Studios for the non-success of his movie.
Yeah, that's some bullcrap.
It's like, no, dude, it's like a big, huge, dumb action movie. You can't claim that you're some auteur. You have like this big, dumb action movie too. It's just people didn't care.
I know it's not the same, but like did you finish watching Moon Knight?
Yes.
I'm not going to say anything about the story, but finishing watching Moon Knight, I know it's not a movie, but like I finished watching that, then watched this, and they came out in the same year.
Yep.
Like that blew me away. I went, this came out this year, like a month ago.
He's using a formula from like the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, so for him to criticize Marvel is kind of like...
And also, you're kowtowing to China way more than Marvel is, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The crazy thing, too, I said at the beginning, this thing's been in the works since 2019.
Yeah.
I feel like they got really drunk and wrote it in January and filmed it in February and then released it in April. Yeah.
That's Moonfall.
Yep. Hey, Moonfall. It's the cheapest thing I've ever said in my life.
I'll probably give this thing like a 3.5.
Yeah, I'm there with that.
There was parts I enjoyed.
Yeah. I mean, you text me. You're like, I've never unintentionally laughed this hard, and I agree. There were so many things that I laughed like, this is ridiculous.
Because I laughed at stuff that was definitely not meant to be funny.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah,
I just hope that I hope Patrick Wilson doesn't get stuck with him. Because did you watch Midway?
No,
it's a Roland Emmerich film too. Patrick Wilson's in it.
Yeah,
and so I'm like, oh crap! Like you've got two back-to-back things kind of with them. So,
you might not be making great stuff, but if you enjoy working with somebody and you get a consistent paycheck, I mean,
look, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, Nicolas Cage. Greatest quote I've heard in a long time, and it changed my entire view of Nicolas Cage. Everyone's like stonewalling him over, you've done a lot of garbage direct-to-video movies. And he says, yeah, I have, but I put every piece of me into it, and I loved it.
Yeah, I saw that quote.
I took those for a paycheck because I'll have a family, and I want to make sure they're taken care of, and I also enjoyed a part of it. What more do I have to say? I said, he's like, I don't have to explain myself.
I saw a script that I liked. Because I'm sure he's paid off all his that thing about like he's so much in debt or whatever. Yeah, I feel like he's paid that off by now.
That's a Cageism at this point.
Yeah,
not real.
I mean, if he wants to do these dumb movies, and also like nobody says anything about Sam Jackson, he does a lot of direct-to-video stuff,
and that's where like I guess Sam Jackson's a little more sane. Like they said the same thing about Wesley Snipes. Kind of,
yeah,
because he evaded taxes for so long.
Mm-hmm.
But see now, look, man, Preston, I'm proud of myself. I took you down like 2 rabbit holes, and now at the end, I'm taking you down a deep one.
Well, if you've listened this far in, why not take a few minutes to leave a review and subscribe wherever you are listening to this? If you can leave a review. I don't know. There's only a couple places you can leave a review or whatever.
If you listen to this in China, you definitely can't leave a review.
Jesus, they probably can't even get this in China. They don't have Google over there.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, wait a second.
You can send a suggestion for our next episode at secondtakemoviespod@gmail.com. You can reach us only on Instagram now. We're just on Instagram. I got rid of Twitter. I don't like Twitter. not because of Elon
Musk hater. You Elon hater.
I don't like their algorithm.
It's quirky, man.
Yeah.
It's been quirky.
So we're just on Instagram at Second Take Movies. You can send a direct message there or just like the posts. Come on.
It's not that hard to click a like.
Yeah.
And I'd say, look, send your favorite movie. And if I can take the pleasure of ripping it apart.
So we'll see you next week with another movie. We don't know what yet. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.